Missouri Nature Art will soon have an exhibition showcasing their nature-inspired artwork. Joining us is owner and lead artist Matt Faupel. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you're from St. Louis?
Yeah.
And the most important question I should ask you is, what high school did you go to?
Fox.
What is it?
Fox.
Oh, Fox High
yeah,
School.
Arnold,
So, yeah, you're an artist. So did you learn a lot about being an artist? When did your love for creating art inspired by nature come to pass?
Well, I think I've always really loved nature since I was a little kid, but and art as well. But it all kind of came together, I guess, sometime after college. Somebody hired me to do some nature photography for their winery.
Oh, okay.
And I ended up turning that into like a hobby where I started selling it at art shows.
So you're a photographer first?
Yeah. I started out doing video and photography. I also did some fabrication work with a place called Creative Visions, and that's where I learned to do a lot of woodworking and some of the more creative things that I do. Yeah, but the woodworking kind of came into it when I decided that I needed to try to find a way to make my nature photography more distinct from other photographers. Mm-hmm. So I came up with the idea that I'd frame some in these hollow logs, and I also used some driftwood logs to make frames.
That is a really, really neat idea. Yeah. So tell me about your process. So you take this raw material and you create something as beautiful and unique as this.
Yeah.
So how does it work?
Well,
not the lamp, I mean. What's your process?
It usually starts with me kind of roaming, the area rivers and what. I usually look for big piles of flood debris, after a flood, a lot of driftwood you usually wash up. And I'll pick through that and just try to find pieces, that kind of talk to me, and I let them kind of tell me what they want to be turned into. So.
Mm-hmm. Really? How long does it take?
The
process of finding something that speaks to you.
Sometimes it can happen, within just a couple seconds, I'll see a piece and instantly I'll be like, oh, well, this needs to be a lamp, this piece or something. But other times, I might just find an interesting piece of wood and bring it home and just kind of look at it, several times throughout over the course of a couple of months, and just, eventually I'll think up an idea for it,
And so, to create something like this, do you have a name for it?
I'll usually just name it, by what it looks like. I call this the cross lamp because it kind of reminded me of a cross or something.
That's true. And you know what? You're truly an artist because I didn't even see that. I didn't notice that, but that's beautiful. So how long does something like this take for you to create?
It kind of varies because I usually do a lot of pieces, in bigger batches to make it a little more efficient for me to work on. And if I probably knew exactly how long it took me, I probably wouldn't want to do it no more.
So you kind of stop and start and...
Yeah, you'll be sanding a bunch of pieces at the same time, so it's hard to kind of break it up. But I would guess maybe there's, 10 or 12 hours into it.
Oh, wow. And then tell me about, the finish that's on here. Do you paint it or...
Yeah, it's actually a brush-on technique. It's a polyurethane mixed with a linseed oil. It's a special blend that I mix up, and I'll paint it on, and then you let it sit for a little while, and you wipe it off, and you do kind of a couple applications of that.
Wow.
It kind of gives it more natural, flat kind of look like that instead of real high gloss.
And these little pivots in here, what are those called?
Well, this piece was a root at one time. We're actually probably looking at it upside down. These would have been the roots growing in the ground, and these are just little knobs that were probably roots coming off at one time, but they, kind of naturally eroded away in the river over time.
And then you told me something that was very important, that you don't chop down trees.
No, I
You're not
don't.
in the business of killing trees, right?
Yeah, a good majority of the wood that I use is driftwood that I'll find along, Missouri rivers or lakes. And I also work with a couple cemeteries that when they cut their dead trees down, they'll give me some of the wood. And, sometimes find even people that are cutting a tree down in their yard, that they don't want anymore, and I'll see if I can save some of the wood.
So you take dead wood and then you give it more life.
That's right.
Yeah, so great. So, okay, we'll have more with Missouri Nature Art right after this. So just stay with us.